Yo, Arsenal fans out there, we are live. Arsenal fan circle here. Finally, for the first time since 2018, the famous Unai Emery inspired 4-2 victory where Lucas Torreira scored for us. 4-2. Today, 2-1. Matt here, co-host. What do you think? We're excited. We're excited. 3 points.
And North London, we lost last year. North London Derby win, man. Come on.
Yeah. A big win today for Arsenal fans worldwide, everywhere. Um, 3 big points for us. It's not going to improve our league position. We still stay 10th, but this was a big win for us against the old enemy. And
That
amazing. Held on at the end right there. A couple of heart-stopping moments when Kane did have the header in the goal right at the end, and once again, then Kane hitting the post and Gabriel
that,
cutting out the follow up.
yo, that follow up was mad, and I thought, yo, that's going in. Gabby, I was
A
saying to
brilliant 3 points for Arsenal today. And we got raw reaction here. We're going to get into it. We'll let people get settled in. Hit the like button when you get in here, people, and let me know what you thought about today's game. Pulsating game. The butterflies. You know, it's been different, my here with the lockdown and the lack of crowds. But I actually felt the butterflies in this game, and the
I
nerves
mean,
were hitting me.
yeah, it's like a roller coaster ride, when you support Arsenal. You get the really high highs, and you get the really low lows where it's Arteta out, get this play out, get that play out. you know and today's been a nice high. Yes, like our host has said, guys, it may not help our league position, but it's confidence, it's pride. I mean, that's what you actually want from a side constantly. Yes, there was loose plays and loose passes here and there, and luckily we didn't pay for it with that Hurricane free kick as well. Gabriel also saving the follow up that was bound in for the equalizer, and I'm just flipping happy right now, man,
Yeah, the
because
assembled.
we might just play them again. That's why the assembled says, I hope the players' confidence go up when we play Olympiacos is our next game. And well, you know what? This could be an introduction to if we have to play them in the Europa League as well.
Yeah,
So don't
hundred
make any.
percent, 100%. I hear the British teams that are still in there, Manchester United, they've got a tricky tie, but we're still in the Europa League. We should progress to the quarterfinals, and Tottenham have a 2-goal lead as well, and they should progress to the quarterfinals. And
Yep.
with three English teams in the Europa League, it's going to be a strong possibility that some of the teams we might cross swords with them, and it's just going to give us huge confidence if we meet them in the competition down the line. Now, recently the Europa League has been more important to get through the Europa League, but having won today, 2-1, that's going to give us huge confidence. The Europa League recently has been probably more important, but we got smiles. We got smiles on the guys today.
Well, what happened? Did we play today?
Yeah,
Oh,
we played a team
you just wait.
down the road. Let's have your raw reaction, Gary.
We made it tough
Yeah,
at the end, but you know what? I'm going to take everything else I saw in this game. I mean, this was outside of the ball not going into the, getting the back of the net. I'm going to take this. I mean, I love that first half. I mean, we got what we deserved. We definitely got what we deserved. They got lucky. I mean, lucky, and anything you want to say in that first half. I mean,
mm-hmm.
we kept it close because we couldn't finish our dinner. We couldn't put the ball in the net. couldn't put it on frame. I mean, when we did, it hit it and went off. So everything about the game was perfect. We put the pressure on them. They barely got anything out of it. Kane disappeared. Bale couldn't hang. Son got injured. I mean, I think part of that is, some luck, but part of that is the way we were playing. We made them disappear. Right, their
Yes.
front line. You didn't hear much from them because we were putting so much pressure on them that we were holding on to the ball, and it never got a chance to get up front to them. So
Apparently, Kane's first chance to touch the ball was in the 60th or 70th odd minute. And I was like, what? Really?
That is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. And to Gary's point, we held them quiet. But also, I'm thinking, Gary, coming up to the end of the first half, we've done really well. We've played really well. We've done all of the right things. We've varied our game up, which we talked about we needed to do. Bern Leno could not continue to orchestrate passing out from the back. So we did that perfectly, varied up the game, did all of the right things. And at the end of the day, you got to hold your hand up to Lamella's finish. And I can hand out charity. I can hand out bouquets of charity now a little bit to them, but it would have felt a little bit. Going into halftime, I was thinking 1-0. Going into halftime, we've done all of the running. We've not had the look, and they've had a huge slice of luck there. But I'm just so thankful we got that equalizer. It was a real FU moment for me at that goal with Kieran Tierney, and we'll get into that. But
yeah,
Gary, we did everything right in the first half.
We did everything. We did everything right for most of this game. So I'm gonna this. There was nothing. I don't think there's many negative at all things I could say about that first half for sure. And there was just if that's the plan, then we were perfect. Whatever Arteta wanted us to do, we did it. There's little things to work on, but that's the kind of game where no matter what the other side does, no matter how lucky they get, that's why I say we need to take the game to them. You need to play our ball, right, as opposed to kind of defend theirs. I think we put pressure on them. I don't know why they looked the way they did, but I think it's because of what we did. So.
They were. Look, I'm not going to hold much faith anymore in away trips, away days in Europe, home at Europe. By all accounts, Tottenham should have been fresher than us, but it was actually the opposite in many ways.
No, we looked really good, and I'm going to take it. I mean, like I said, this is what I wanted us to play Arteta's ball and not, anything else. And I think this is what we saw today. I think the guys were tired, and that's what we saw towards the end there.
Yeah, Partey particularly was so poor.
Partey and Xhaka were both pretty much tired, and you could see it in, when Partey gets tired, he just doesn't control the ball. When Xhaka gets tired, he gives up, free kicks. I mean, how many free kicks did he give up in that last 5 minutes? 2, right?
Yep.
Right? And he didn't get a yellow. I mean, that's the inconsistency with the way this game was called. They should have had maybe 1 or 2 reds before this, before the one they got, because the way the game was, at least, I was on the watch along with Warren Thornton, right? So we were reviewing it, and then we're looking, he's letting too much go, and and it's benefiting them, right? We don't foul as much like that, and they got a lot of benefits out of that because they continually niggled away at us. I mean, I think Saka is out of the game because of that.
Yeah, Saka's out of the game for sure. A halftime challenge from Reguilon, which was a meaty challenge.
Yep. And that's going to happen to him, right? At some point, one of them is gonna hurt a little bit more than the next one, right? So it's like, you know what? Yeah, the referee's got to protect the players to some degree, and
we have a fantastic talent in Saka in particular. We're not asking for any other treatment that other players don't get. England internationals, particularly Kane and other players like that, do get protection from the referees. Grealish is another one. They get protection from the referees. So I think that Saka needs to ingratiate himself with some of the English referees and become almost their mates. You know what I mean? When you meet them at the halfway line, shake their hands, say how are the kids doing, and all that stuff. Michael Oliver.
We got the blue light. You know what's funny? I actually let me see if this works here. I got the orange light, and I got this is as blue as it gets over here. It's a taint blue, but
I can see the tent.
yeah,
Nitish, thanks for joining us. Nitish had said Partey was so poor at the end. Probably stretching his fitness just a little bit. And I think El Neni came on right at the end to close the game out, right?
yeah, yeah,
We had 12 fouls, they had 14.
yeah.
But obviously, they would put more of a physical challenge than ours. And I think, I'm not a real fan of Lamella. Even when he came on, I've never liked Lamella.
Me neither.
You could
Yeah.
see the shithousery that was going on between him and Granit Xhaka even before their goal.
Yeah.
So he's one of those players that bring on to try to niggle and get under players' skin. So I was slightly worried about Granit Xhaka and his discipline there, Gary.
Yeah, well, luckily when he pushed him away, I mean, you saw what happened. We all saw what happened before that, and it's like, he's sticking your arm up, towards my face, yeah, and that's just official losing control of the game. I mean, that's what happened there. I mean, they don't want to control it. They want to let it go, and they don't let it go both ways, or in the benefit of both teams, right? So
Yeah, I often feel that the referees tried to do that in an effort to keep, the cards out of their pockets, but they kind of lose control a little bit in the game.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can keep the cards in your pocket if you tell them no more, or else you get a yellow. If you don't say that, you just not let it. One, you let it go, and then 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 our penalties and our fouls, sorry, are are immediately yellows, right? Because after a while, you just get punished, and you're like, I need to I need to get something back on them. So, but you know what? We got the blue light on. It's the blue light.
Happy days,
The
right?
blue light. We got 3 points,
Please,
right?
And
please,
of course,
please, at least you know what, guys? You know what I'm happy with? There was some sort of fight. There was some sort of pride and passion on the line. I mean, there were a lot of sloppy passes that you were like, oh no. And I mean, that Harry Kane free kick, which we also discussed, that hit the post and the rebound was going in. I said, oh, damn. No, no, not tonight. Please, the blue room needs to go on at some point. And Gabi, come on, our centre back. That's why he's there.
yeah.
Just
Yeah,
put in a commanding header, and I was like, ah,
yeah.
really? And I started
Well,
singing, can we hold on for 5 more minutes?
Where did 5 minutes come from? I mean, how much did did the Spurs pay for that? Because
No, it's all the shithousery. As we're discussing, it's all the shithousery that
yeah.
goes on. That's why there's 5 extra minutes.
Mm.
so anyone in the chats, just let us know how you're feeling about this game today. It would have been very, very bad if Arteta had not beaten Mourinho today. In fact, if we'd been defeated, Arteta would have been the only Arsenal manager to have been defeated in North London Derby 3 games in a row, Gary. So
Yep.
not the kind of record you want as an Arsenal manager.
And
No,
I think
no.
we've had 6 back-to-back games, if I'm not mistaken, as a record as well. 6 Premier League games or something, or against Arsenal 6. I'm like, geez, fam,
Yeah,
don't hit me with stats like that.
yeah, yeah.
Make
No,
my
I mean,
heart explode.
he set the team up right. They did exactly. I think they did what he wanted them to do, and they looked really good out there doing it. Um, I mean, that first half, you got two hit the woodwork, and then two Lacazette knots, right? He just did not, or Lacaless, or whatever they call it. I mean, he just
Like a
he
threat.
like a
Like a
threat.
threat.
It's like, come on, you're in front of the goal. I mean, the other part that I was talking about when I was watching the game is every time we took the ball up the side and cut it back, the player coming up just would not take a shot. The ball is right on
Mhm.
the outside of the box. Take the shot.
Yeah.
We got them backing up. You put that ball on frame. maybe something good happens, but we just would not. And those are opportunities you don't see on the stat sheet, but those are opportunities missed that I believe we should be taking. We took some, but some of those we just didn't. We just pulled the ball back, and it's like, why didn't you come up ready to shoot? I mean,
Exactly.
at the end of the game, I think Lacazette. I think Pepe took the ball up the side, crossed it over, tipped it over to Lacazette, and he just wasn't ready to shoot or something. And you're like, come on, that's what that.
Yeah,
Put this ball on frame. Come on.
brought it out. As Nitish said, have backed Lacazette for months now and defended him on all streams. So great to see him deliver again. The only thing we can say against Lacazette really, Mahir, is that he doesn't score enough goals for us. He's definitely nothing wrong with him as a player. And he holds the ball up. He has that mentality where he will fight. He fought all day. He was manhandled a few times, didn't get free kicks, but he kept going. And when he's got that penalty chance, he put it away with some confidence there. I really love the way he put it right in the same, what I'm going to call
I was calling it.
the
I was
Lamella
calling
corner. He put
I
the
sat there and I was circling the bottom. I was circling the bottom lower corners.
Hey,
Tony!
Tony.
Hello.
Tony! I was
yeah.
circling the
So
bottom lower corners and the top corners, because if you want to take a confident free penalty, you put it hard low either side or high with power, but you make sure it's in the very very corner and it's going in. It's not hitting the post. It's not going well over. And he just put it away so beautifully. And I said, you know what? I wish a little bit more for Lacazette, man. I've also backed him a long time, like Nitesh. I've also backed him, and he gets dropped for over a lot, as he's saying. But
yeah, I think I certainly have. I understand now over the last year what's been happening with him, and I know Tony's been championing, like I said, a lot. But I understand now. I did criticize the chances he missed against Leicester last season, various games like that. But also he was being played. And I'm going to give Tony the opportunity to talk, wax lyrical about Lacazette, because you have defended Lacazette through thick and thin, Tony, and now you get to smile a little bit. I get to smile because Arteta's got the W today, so it is the team that does the job. But Tony, you get to smile a little bit about Lacazette. So let me have a few words from you about Lacazette. He was played in a withdrawn role, which hurt him last season, and now he's got the opportunity to lead the line.
Yeah, last season he was used as a defensive forward, as I kept saying. Stan kept saying false nine, but I think he's further back than that. To me, that made him a defensive forward playing back there. Even in this game, he's doing a lot of running back, collecting the ball deep, which he shouldn't be doing. He needs to be just staying up front. But for whatever reason, that's what Arteta wants him to do, so he goes and does it. And to me, he started a year off with 3 games and 3 goals. Then he gets benched.
Mm.
Then he's been benched. If you're a striker, you need to play consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of comments about Emil Smith-Rowe and Erdegaard playing together, and I actually like it because especially the way it was the way this game went today. I mean, if we had put away the chances that we had today, it would have been a 5-1 game. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, because we hit the framework twice. Lacazette had some terrible sitters right in the middle there, and then like I said, we didn't even take some of the shots we should have. So this game should have been put to bed early in the first half, or not early in the first half, but by halftime it should have been pretty much over. But the Milsworth-Rowe, and the one thing that's nice about that pairing is that they can switch it up, and one can go inside, one can go outside. It doesn't matter, and that just puts more pressure on their defense. And we saw it today.
We saw it with Doherty, right, Gary? Yeah. He didn't know what he was coming or going.
No, I mean, think about it. They got one shot on goal in that first half. One.
I know.
One, and that required a lot of skill, and that was like, and yeah, but I mean, you know what? That's not a negative, because that was a really good piece of skill, and it worked to perfection. Everything that he needed to worked out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take
Definitely.
anything away from that. But we were on the front foot. We were the ones putting more pressure on their goalkeeper. And we did come out with the win when we put we put a little bit more. So I I I didn't think that front four would work because for a lot of the reasons where is Erdegaard coming in to take away a Smith Rowe's spot, and obviously not, right? He likes to play them both, so obviously he's not taking away his spot. Well,
Yeah.
Pepe is losing out, right? Pepe's losing out,
He's
but
losing out, but we're also seeing Pepe coming in and being valuable in games as a substitute. So we're seeing players that are stepping up, and the competition within the squad. It's a good thing. As Bargav said, we can't keep playing Odegaard and ESR together. I think you're worried more about injuries, Bargav. And well, I actually, as Gary said, I do like them playing together. I knew Arteta would go with Emile Smith Rowe when we had a fully fit squad. I did say it, and I think that he offers security there on the left side to retain the ball, and we saw it play out in the game. Kieran Tierney and Emile Smith Rowe and even Xhaka gave Doherty fits at that right back position, which we called out as well. Mahir?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys and ask our subscribers as well. Do you think the synergy is a little bit off when ESR and Odegaard play together? Or do you
No,
guys...
I think it's good. It's
did you
good
not like the
stuff.
first half? I mean,
No,
look at
I'm
the
not
first
saying...
half of that game. If you can
No,
get
no.
two of those a game, two halves like that in a game, we're not going to lose. It's not what what kind of question is that?
I think
Come on.
Mahir is playing devil's
That's
advocate,
not
Gary.
coming from me personally. It's just a question. Like, I wonder how everybody else feels. I'm not saying I don't want the two of them.
I'm about to grab you and no, what are you doing?
No. I mean, listen. We would, in an ideal
Be
world,
nice to me here. He's trying to break out of prison.
you'd have your wingers. You would have your wingers in the game in an ideal world, but in this game, we changed the way we played slightly at the back. You can see noticeably we're not playing out from the back as much as we were. We talked about it again in the pre-game show. Bernd Leno had to change his ways. They worked on they had time. Tony Arteta said we don't have time sometimes to work on things, but they must have found
That's
some
an
time to tell
excuse.
Bernd
That's an
Leno.
excuse because those not having time means that you're going to lose games. So
Yeah.
you
That's the
have
way
to
he's
make
used
time
to
to
playing.
fix
He's
big
not used to
problems
playing with his feet.
in your team. So that's an excuse. No, you know what? No, you know what? If your kid is touching the hot stove, you don't go. You know what? I don't have any time because I got to go to sleep for work tomorrow. No, you fix it right now, right?
Good
You
point,
fix
Gary.
it
Good
right
point.
now because
Yeah.
you know what? That I don't want you getting hurt. I don't want us, losing for things we can fix. Especially if you, at least you're talking about it. I don't. Maybe not on the field, but you're actually communicating. And you know what? You need to take your time. Take a 1 or 2 second break before you make that pass, whether it's good enough. Because worst case scenario, you kick it out of bounds, and that's the one thing. When I coach the little kids, I'm like, worst case scenario, you kick it out of bounds. Because guess what? Nobody in the history of football has ever scored from the ball on the outside of the pitch. Never.
So,
It's never been done, and it will never ever happen.
Tony, I think Tony is trying to get an extra winger on the field here. 4-1-2-3, Tony. I will go with 4-2-3-1 myself. I just think the 4-1-2-3 is a little bit attacking.
Well, you see, that's if you do that, then I assume what he's saying is right. You've got Emile Smith Rowe
Partey.
and
Odegaard.
Odegaard sitting there
Yeah.
in the inverted, right, and Partey back there. I just the problem everybody has is that we just don't have the pace to keep the defense to keep up with that kind of structure, right?
Rumple foreskin. Come on, you guys. Wash hands.
Oh,
Wash
he
hands.
got you to say it. He got you to say it.
I always announce. He's been on before.
He got you to say no. Don't read. Just read it. Don't say it
Wash
again.
hands. Come on, you gutters. Wash hands. Wash hands.
He got you to say it, Ray. You're on camera saying that.
Explain what?
Nothing. You missed it, I guess.
Foreskin.
No, of course. Gary, he's been on before. I announced him
Yeah, that's what I
before.
was saying. Yes, been with
Oh,
us since a long time ago.
Oh,
We
maybe
haven't lost
maybe
him
it means
first
something
time on.
different in Ireland than it does
Oh
in
no, no, it's the same thing.
No, man.
But
You know, at one point he waited, but Rubble Force has been with us a long time. When he first came onto the channel, he's been like one of our first subscribers.
yeah,
And we had such a good laugh when we were like, wow, that's creative, you know. And we actually said his name and laughed all together, you know. It's very creative.
let me bring in Alonso. We didn't get your input yet, did we? What do you think
Alonso!
about that,
No.
Alonso? 3 nice points today.
Yeah, and at the very end, it was kind of nervy, like we all expected, right? Because like every time we get to that point where everything is good, you know, we secured a win, and yet you know Harry Kane has 2 free kick chances at the very end of the game. You're like, oh my god, not again! It's like a nightmare, right? It's like a dream, and then
Arsenal
a
going to do
nightmare.
Arsenal, right?
Right, and so it's like. You know, I think I tweeted that something like, well, you know, they're 10 men down, right? Let's punish them. We can't do that. You can't even do that, right? So it's just a life of an Arsenal fan, right? So it's like you want them to win, but there'll be moments where you know David Luiz is asleep or Hardy's not playing hard, passing the ball hard enough, you know, so it gets intercepted, and it's like is there a misuse? Give you little heart attacks, right? And it's like little anxiety attacks. It's like not good for the heart, right? But you still want to, you still had that little hope
Right at the end.
glimmer
Yeah.
that they're going to win, right? Because they're
Like I
Arsenal.
said, Arsenal's going to do Arsenal, Alonso. Hey,
Right.
Yeah,
let's.
I think to
Gary.
Bargav's comment,
Yeah.
I believe he got that last foul on him. You know,
By
basically
Reguilon.
precautionary. They took him off because that was a hard one. Yeah.
We won this game today because of our young players and their energy, and we sort of said that, didn't we? Say that this morning, Gary.
Yes, and that's you know what? That is exactly what they've been bringing to us every time they've been on the field, right? They are out there, and if you don't keep up, then you stand out, right? If you don't keep up with their energy, you stand out, and it looks off. So
Right.
today, yeah.
So listen, the elephant in the room. This kind of brings us to it. The young players and their energy. It kind of brings us to the elephant in the room. I'm not talking about Sam here, the vampire in the room, but
He got out
Gary.
of the coffin. He got locked in the coffin for work, and then they said, and he snuck out before they could get the lock on.
Yes. Yes.
He said he's
We
been
won the league at Shy Hart Lane. We won the league at Shy Hart Lane.
In this shirt, right? It was the shirt. It was all this shirt. The O2.
No, bring
Sam,
it back.
what's your? Okay, I think I know your initial thoughts, but just give your initial thoughts to us.
I'll tell you what. Apart from if we just forget the last 10 to 15 minutes, that game we dominated them. We dominated Spurs. We should have been up 3-1 at half time. We should be winning the game 5-1. You know, we absolutely dominated them. I actually couldn't believe how much better we were than them today. To be honest, we really were.
I think.
You know,
I think
really.
I can't believe how much better they
I think
were.
Roll is right here. We will play out from the back against less offensive team. He just couldn't risk it today, and we're happy he didn't do that. He varied it up. Bern Leno instructed to vary it up, Sam.
Exactly. It was much more variation today. The way we played was a bit of a mixture. You know, more direct sometimes, less direct other. But we just clicked today. The team just clicked. You know, the front four did well together. I think the back four played really well together. Tierney really good today. Cedric also solid. Gabriel great. Even Louise had a good game. I tell you what, as I said, you know, if we don't make mistakes, we're gonna have a good game, and we did. And I just couldn't believe how good we were going forwards and how much we actually got at their defence and made them look really, really average in defence. We really did, and we should have had a few more goals. We hit the post. We hit the post twice. You know, I mean, we could have had another 2 goals at half time.
Yeah, I mean, Jose's on the. He's just doing his post game, and basically said in that first half, he said the 1-1 score was no reflection on how that game, and was talking about his team. He's like, we never defended. We were on the back foot. I mean, basically, he's giving kind of praise to us because his team did not look good in that first half.
Okay, well, I thought he was alluding to that Tottenham were the better team. Somehow.
No. He was saying that 1-1 was not reflective of the score. It was a close game, not at all.
Yeah,
I mean they got one little shot, bright, what do they call it? A little brilliance, one little bit of brilliance there.
That was a brilliant goal. That was just a brilliant
goal.
Yeah, we can say that now. We can say it was a brilliant goal now, right?
No, it was at the time, and it still is. I mean,
I was pissed off because it was against the run of play. That's what pissed me off. It was typical. We were dominating. We couldn't score the goals we wanted. And it was just typical that they could just, with one brilliant shot like that, and that was it.
That happened too many times with us, with the game with Wolves as well. Dominating, getting chances, not finishing. And then just one moment of madness, and suddenly it's 1-0 to the opposition.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
exactly.
So Fernando says, great win. All of the players were passionate and strong, focused almost all of the game. That being said, I felt Spurs were not playing seriously. I don't think they took the day off, Fernando. Just a few chances they created, and they were very dangerous.
Yeah, I think we actually took the game to them, and that's what it looks like when
in any game, Gary. It's all about the battle to win the game, win willpower, right? Yeah. You have to win the right to play. That's what basically Arsenal did, I think. Yeah. And Natish said, could you guys actually tell which team was down 10 men?
Nope.
No, that's what I'm saying. The end of the game was terrible.
We look like we were down, man.
Yeah, we want a little bit more control, but it's kind of natural to sit back and defend, and the other team's going to come out.
It was a mixture. It was a mixture of three. It was a mixture of three things. One, it was Arteta's again, not doing the right substitutions, letting the other team back into the game, not making the right tactical adjustments that Mourinho was doing at the end of the game. Two, it was our typical mentality of we didn't have the strength to just keep it going. We sat back a bit and sort of switched off a bit, which wasn't very good. I thought we're 11 men against 10, we'll be okay, but we weren't. You have to give more because the other team's going to give more. And number three, that Willian substitution. My God, bringing on Willian. He comes on, fresh legs, and he's just jogging around. He's just jogging around.
Yeah.
He's not putting any pressure on anyone. It was terrible.
78 minutes, I want El Neni coming on instead of Willian in 78 minutes, not the other way around, and give Willian 2 or 3 minutes at the end. But I think the second point is kind of like most teams would sit back a little bit and try to defend, But
you know what? You can't. The way we were doing that, though, we're trying to absorb all the pressure for no reason.
All right.
You kind of like took your foot off the neck and said, all right, I'll let you breathe a little bit. And this is the type of game you can do that, right? Because you saw what happened to the team as a whole, right? They went from being, on the front foot the whole game, and then in the last 15 minutes, all right, we're going to take our foot off. And then when we take a foot off, it comes off too much, all right? I mean. Yeah.
Warren was grilling Willian. Okay, very good stuff, Warren. I like that. Let's get to the elephant in the room. Mahir, start off.
There's another one? How many elephants are there?
Jeez!
The one I tried to talk about a few minutes ago.
Ray's got a full circus going on.
I've got a full game to get through with you guys, and I'm going to enjoy it because this was a brilliant win, and it's going to keep our season ticking along. Albeit in the last few minutes, we're thinking very different things. If this goes 2-2, it's a different podcast, right? Unfortunately,
much like a madman.
Oh, if it had been 2-2, that's it. I would have killed someone.
So, Mahir, news filtering through, and this is a case of culture and discipline over putting that above and beyond the team, and putting the best team out there. If a player who is your captain, highest paid player, we talked about this, I think, on pregame, right? Just at the end of the pregame. Highest paid player about here. And if he can't make a team meeting, because I believe that's what it is, he was late for a team meeting.
Late for the game.
Late for the game. And apparently it's not been the first time. So Arteta has to put the culture and discipline ethic down first and make a stand here and put Aubameyang to the substitutes bench.
Who's trying to suck the helium gas?
One of the guys off screen.
It's not me. I don't have.
Tony,
Alonso.
Alonso, are you guys okay?
I know it exactly. Alonso, Tony, one of you
One of them
say
two.
something.
It's
Blink.
one of these sucking the helium gas. I don't know which
Can I-
one of them.
Can I just say, Stephen Denham? Can I just shout out Stephen Denham and thanks for joining us, Stephen. I
Big up Denham.
wondered about you, if you're okay, if you're in good health, and we
Yes.
worry about our viewers and members and people who are watching. So I'm glad to see you're here, Stephen. But Mahir, the captain missing a meeting, and it was probably the right move. It would have been the right move if we lost, if we drawn the game even.
Yeah, I don't know about disciplinary issues. Whether it's, I mean, for captain, it's something. It's not a super big issue or uber big issue, but it's still something you want to show, especially some of your younger players, that what type of leader you are. You know that
Yeah.
nobody's really gonna get away with anything stupid, considered stupid in parentheses, because once. I mean, even like the Xhaka thing back a while ago, when he told the players to F off, and Emery continued playing with him, and I mean, even Arteta continued having him in every match day squads. It almost shows, a lack of power, basically. So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know how I feel exactly.
Real figures, he shouldn't have been on the bench even. That's a fine line that the manager has taken. Fan base would probably be split on that. You want one of your best players still to be able to help you? No, Gary?
No, I mean if that's anybody else, they're not even probably on the bench. I have no doubt about it, because that seems like he didn't even come in the game when we needed him to come in at a game to close it out, right? Because we've seen him come off the bench in this type of scenario where he comes out, the team is on, they're pressing us, so now we're going to get a lot of space behind them, and he comes on to close out the game from the front side, from the front. And Lacazette was dead, right? I mean, seemed like Lacazette was dead. It bring Willian, he's dead. So maybe Aubameyang with a little bit of fire would come on and maybe help close out this thing. But you know what? It's a bad look once again. For an Arsenal captain, right? Another bad look again. You come late to the North London derby. Which game are you going to come to on time?
This is the one game.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's going on? Right?
Sam, your thoughts on Aubameyang being dropped?
Yeah, I mean, apparently what I've heard was the people talking about he came late to meet up for the game. I mean, how hard is it, honestly? Jesus Christ! I mean, the guys don't know how much money, and that's all we got to do is meet up to the game. I mean, it's terrible. But I
probably watching Netflix or something. You just
I agree. I agree with Gary. I agree with Gary 100%. If you're gonna make an example of someone, you can't just put him on the bench. Just take him out of the squad. And Martinelli was taken out of the squad completely. Should have just changed them two. Said, okay, Martinelli, you're back in the match day squad. Orba, sorry, you're dropped. Because it's not like he's at the moment. It's not like he's absolutely vital to our team either. The guy's been terrible for us lately, Orba. Despite scoring a goal here or there, he's been rubbish. Yeah. So he shouldn't really be in the squad for that. And again, okay, good. You actually don't let him start, because that was apparently he was supposed to start the game today and then got dropped to the bench. But then you should just drop him out of the squad and bring like Martinelli in, because again, it's a weird issue with Martinelli.
when it comes to an incident like that, why not bring Martinelli in? Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Bring in Martinelli and leave Orba out. If Orba wants to stay watching Netflix, finish off whatever series he's watching, he can go home and finish the series, can't he?
Well, I thought. No, did you say? I think he was going to start. That's what I tried
That's
to
what I'm
say.
saying. He was going to start, yeah.
Okay.
And then he came late and then got dropped to the bench. And what I would have done, as I said, sorry, just drop him completely out. That's a shining example. Drop him completely out of the match.
You know what that means?
And bring in Martinelli. Martinelli instead, instead of dropping Martinelli out of the squad.
You know what that means? You know what that means, guys? I'm fully dialed into Arteta thoughts. I had Oba as my starting,
but it kind of sends a bad message, right? Right, it sends a kind of a bad message, right? If your captain,
yeah, not that.
It's not even that. It's the North London Derby. When you know what, and take away those 38 games. This is two of the most important games we have going on in the season, right?
As Natish says, you have to be strong, but you can't be stubborn. You can't lose the game just to prove a point. Alba wasn't needed today. It was fine. Bring on Lenny then.
No, I mean, I think Aubameyang should have come on sooner. If he was going to come on, Lenny came on basically when the game was done, right? It should have been done long before that.
I think Natish agrees with me. Maybe it's okay to put him to the subs bench. A lot of you want to just strike him from the squad today. Strike him. Anyway, it was just, as it happens, it may not be a big deal. If we'd have lost or drawn the game, it would be more of a topic, right? And do you think it's fair to say we can sweep it under the carpet a little bit?
No.
Well, the thing is,
I don't want to do that because I think that is the reason why the team is in the situation they are, is because there's little things like this that just show you that we still got a little ways to go.
I'm going to say this here and now. Aubameyang does not give us at the moment at the way he is at the moment mentally, whatever's happening in his head and whatever's going on at the moment. I'm not talking about Aubameyang in form. Forget that. I'm talking about Aubameyang as he is now. Aubameyang as he is now, as we've seen in the last few games. Yes, he's managed to score a couple of goals, a couple of them, quite weak goals. But the way he's been playing has been terrible. Terrible. Why then can't we let Martinelli, who is a freshly rested, huge prospect that we want to integrate into our team?
Yeah.
He, for me, then becomes, for today, the better option instead of Aubameyang. What would have Aubameyang done today? Tell me. What would Aubameyang done today based on his recent form? He wouldn't have come on today and done anything. Maybe
we don't know.
Maybe
There's
lucky
no
enough.
way to.
No, but he's no. But it's not like he's on fire or in form or anything. He's been crap. He's been absolutely crap. So Martinelli.
You know what?
For me, you give Martinelli a chance to be in the squad instead of Aubameyang.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, you know what? Some fans will say, you know what? You're punishing Arsenal by having Aubameyang not play. Well, you know what? This is a similar thing to the Guendouzi situation, right? He's doing things that are disciplinary. He's getting disciplined for that are hurting the team morale, the mentality, and all of that, right? These are similar things. This is not right. So if you think Guendouzi doesn't deserve to be on the team for what he does, then this is no different. This is your captain. Once again, this is your captain. This isn't a player at the end of the bench. This is your captain on the biggest game, one of the biggest games of the year. And
this is the thing, Ray. I just want to ask you, Ray. Don't you want to hold your captain to a higher standard than everyone else? Your captain should be held to a higher standard, right?
Listen, I for one can be convinced to come around to the way if you're thinking, you and Gary. I agree. I'm starting to agree with you now, and it's okay to change your mind, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying in general, right? Wouldn't you hold your captain to a higher standard? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know what? And this we're talking about a whole new team mentality that needs to change, right? Yep. So the culture needs to change. This is a negative, right? The reason why Guendouzi's out of the team is because he's doing everything against the culture that Arteta wants to bring to the team. This is another one of those things And in this case, it's coming from the man that you put the armband on. So it's, to me,
Shout out to Rule.
I agree
He
with Gary.
speaks.
Agree with Gary.
Rule does
Agree with him.
speak a lot of sense, and you've convinced me. I agree with you now. I didn't start out agreeing with you, but
Well, it's everyone, we can all change our opinions. Definitely.
yeah, and I hope you guys will come around about Arteta and how he's going to be.
Listen, if we play more like today against West Ham and Liverpool, if we have similar games like today, I'm going to start to change my mind. Seriously, I'm open to doing that.
I'm also open to that.
Yeah, I enjoyed this first half. The first half, I enjoyed it. It wasn't as think about the Wolves game, right? You think about this game. Those first 45 minutes were both like, yes, I like this. I want more of that. I want more of that. I want more of that.
So,
and,
Gary, are we starting to see some things we like that if we just take out our individual errors and mistakes, there's something we can build on for next season, right?
No, definitely. And like I said, you looked at that. Think about it. Lacazette had 3 players behind him there, were what, 19, 20, and 21 or 22, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, sitting right behind him. And we put a lot of pressure on them today. I mean,
so much.
And, and as far as attacks go, this is probably the worst attack, the best attack we're going to have to go against. If, all 3 of their players played, right? I mean, Son came out. Bale wasn't good today. Kane, we kind of quieted him today. But like anything else, but you can't quiet him for 90 minutes, right? Because they are still there on the field.
Yeah, every good team's going to have their day and their chances. And it tests my heartstrings a little bit. Rules, speaking sense here, our biggest game of the season and our captain late. I would have told him to go home. So, yeah, listen. I started out thinking it was okay to put him on the subs bench, but a lot in the chats here would have sent him home as well. Yeah. Captain being late for North London Derby is shocking, says Stefan. I agree with you. Arteta should have chased him and sent him home.
Chase him home.
Warren, thanks for joining us. We are celebrating 3 points today. Brilliant stuff, brilliant win, and really appreciate everyone who's in the chat right now because you've come back, Arsenal fan circle, to savor this win with us. What we want to do here is grow a community, so smash the like button. It would get the video shown to other gooners.
Go to your room, Aubameyang. Go to your room.
Captain of Arsenal late for the derby. Well done, Arteta.
Warren's our referee. We had him on for the watch along. He was very good. He gave us a lot of insight to what the referees are doing. It was really good.
Oh, nice.
He corrected us when we went a little bit overboard. He said no. He kind of reined us back in. Said no. The referee did okay there.
Voice of reason. I would have played him, but also find his ass. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Based on what I saw from Lacazette today, I don't. Would Aubameyang being in those positions? Based on the way that we were playing,
we don't. Yeah, maybe
he plays a different way. I agree that tactically today, going with Lacazette was the better decision. I mean, that's the thing though. He was going with Aubameyang, but we saw with the Lacazette who became the striker instead of Aubameyang. Tactically, it worked a lot better for us, and that's why we chose Lacazette for this game, because we knew having a forward who can come in deep and help with midfield is going to help us against Spurs. And it worked out very well today. Unfortunately, like I said, he blew out of steam like the last 20 minutes, and he didn't get subbed for a while, and we were struggling with him not being able to press up the front there.
As Stephen said, our captain should be leading by example, setting the standard, showing how the team should be going about their business and getting there earlier.
His mentality's not there, is it? He's pretty off, isn't he?
Lamella should be off 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah,
exactly. He's a classic shit star, Lamella.
Yeah. Oh, it's crap.
Okay, so let's get into the game. I thought we started pretty well, here down the left. We're getting noticeable overloads through Kieran Tierney and Emile Smith-Rowe. And I actually, you can check me. I did say that I thought that Emile Smith-Rowe would get the first goal. So close to being right on that one. A great shot after 15 minutes.
I mean, it's just the synergy. You know, on certain sides, you can see that, I think every time we get the ball, let's put it on the left-hand side because Tierney's going to bomb down that wing and he's got plenty of support from the homies.
Mm.
And it shows. It shows. It shows. The chances are created.
Thanks, James.
Hitting the posts
Thanks,
multiple times.
James is a Spurs fan, so thanks for
Is he?
being
Oh, good on him.
unanimous,
Good
James.
on him. Thanks.
Yeah.
Big up, James.
They did push us right to the end, though, as we've mentioned already. Gary, great shot from Emile Smith Rowe. Reguilon losing ball, so we repressed Reguilon. I think Odegaard was part of that, maybe Saka, into getting the ball. The ball switched to centrally. You got three Arsenal players on the edge of the box. Must have been a big breakdown for Tottenham there. And Emile Smith Rowe measures a shot just a little bit too much onto the bar.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody said we're going to play up a little higher and put a little bit of pressure on them, right? And you saw what happens when that, we get more opportunities to attack and score at, counterattack after we get the ball back. So, yeah, I mean, it was good, and that's what that's what we got today, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, that first like 15, 20 minutes, we put a lot on them, and we didn't get the.
We didn't get our reward.
We didn't get our reward for putting all that pressure on them, but the game plan was working, and just at that point I was like, can we? How are we going to get this back, right? Because once it kind of slowed down a little bit after that, I was like, But we did exactly, we did what we're supposed to. Put ourselves in situations to score. We just got to finish it. And definitely, like I said, I enjoyed what Arteta wanted to do today, and he actually got the team to do what he wanted, and it looked really good.
I'm going to go to Alonso because he dropped out quite a bit, so I'm going to try and get you in there. Hey, Alonso, we talked about, you're on the pregame show with us as well. We talked about the need for Cedric to have a good game on Son, and he covered him quite well in that inside run, and Son pulled up with a hamstring.
Yeah, and this is after Bellerin haven't been playing to our expectations, and I think that Cedric had a great game. I think that whenever you had a pressure of having to play against a player like Son, who always makes that inside run, right, and he always does it against us, and he always was the problem for those couple of minutes. I think that he did a really good job, and I think it's only going to build his confidence even more as the season goes on, and hopefully we get rid of Bellerin at the end of the season or wherever he goes. Goodbye, good riddance. I mean, and it's time that Cedric starts playing more often.
Yeah, Sam, can we maybe think this could be close to our first 11, our best 11?
I think so. I think so at the moment. There's only two changes I'd really make to that team at the moment, and that is I would like to have someone in instead of Xhaka, and I'd like to see Mari and Gabriel play together. I really would. I think that would be our strongest team. Apart from that, it was a good lineup. When we played well, we really did. We definitely overpowered Spurs today with the way we played. We're a good side on our day. That's the thing. When the players are motivated, the tactics are working well. It's we're a good team.
Yeah, definitely. As Stephen said here, Tierney is a massive player for us. He's always set a high standard and meets the standard he set week in, week out. He's quality. He's our Mr. Reliable. One thing I've been calling for Kieran Tierney, I love everything about him as a player, but I will always just ask for a little bit more in terms of his delivery into the box. But we're going to get towards the end of the first half, and I'll have no qualms about talking about Kieran Tierney for the goal. But just before we get there, Sam, the Cedric hits the upright as well.
Yeah, he does well. He does well to come in there where he comes in and cuts in. The ball comes out to him and he hits the ball well. And unfortunately, he just hits the upright. And it was and when we had those two shots, I mean, at the bar. First, it was that great shot from Smith Rowe that hit the bar. You know, the crossbar quite early on, and then there was that shot from Cedric that hit the upright, the right hand side. I was just thinking, bloody hell, this is gonna be one of those days, isn't it? You know, we're gonna be peppering their goal. You know, we're gonna be hitting all the bars. Larie is gonna be doing worldy saves, and we're just not gonna be able to score a goal. I was just thinking that's what's gonna happen, you know. And lucky enough, it didn't happen, but. Yeah, it was a nice strike by Cedric, and it was just unlucky again. We hit the post a lot as well, don't we? We did it again. We did it against was it Burnley? And I know we've hit the post a couple of times.
Ceballos
That was it. Ceballos at the end. Yeah, Ceballos at the end hit the post as well. I mean, we've been unlucky, haven't we, with that?
Yeah, I was thinking if we could get half goals for every time we hit the post,
exactly.
We'd get a few goals added up to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tony, just give us a shout when you're back in. I'll bring you back into I'll feed you some questions, Tony.
Feed me.
We hungry. Gary, I want to just go back to Son being taken off. So actually, we're all rubbing our hands together thinking, okay, one of their major threats coming off. But it kind of upset the balance a little bit. I thought they came into the game a little bit more when Lamela came in for them. Whether it was a little bit us backing off or it was just a different vibe or a different energy to their side.
Yeah, I think it changed the flow of the game because we kind of knew what we were getting with Son, so we played one way. And then with Lamela, I think similarly, we changed our tactics like he was not a threat to us as much. And it gave him, I think we gave him just a little bit too much space. And didn't play him the same way we didn't play him as a threat like Son. And gave him too much of space there, and that's kind of what happens when he's sitting there when he's got Partey on him and not really closing him out as much fast enough to where he doesn't even think about that play. I think that's what happened there. So it definitely it helped them out more than it hurt us. It helped them out more than it hurt them. I think. The one thing we were talking about earlier is that that Tierney cross. We were making that play many, many times, and a couple of times they cut it. They cut it out, right? And they got in there and was able to stop. And that Erdegaard shot, that one it went straight through, right? And Erdegaard got a good foot on it. But earlier they kind of got their foot on a couple, and then like I said, a lot of times Tierney would make that pass back a little bit to an oncoming player, and they wouldn't be ready to take the shot. So I think Tierney was on the front foot, attacking them, putting pressure on them the whole time, and that's why it looked so good on that side of the field. It's.
Hey, I'm glad we got Tony here as well. He's going to pick the man of the match as well because we're all kind of percolating and digesting the game, and I'm kind of coming up with a few names myself as candidates now. Alonso, so as we said, Lamela comes on. He's a little bit of a sneaky, shithousery kind of player. You love him when he's in your team, but you don't want it. You don't want him when he's a part of the opposition. A little bit like Højbjerg. Højbjerg was very, very quiet till the 10 minutes from halftime, but gets into kind of a jostling with Granit Xhaka, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. It's a Burnley all over again. We're 1-0 down.
Yeah, and I give Xhaka credit. He really didn't panic or didn't do nothing stupid to get himself in trouble. But yeah, I mean, Lamina, here's his name.
And maybe Rule is right. Maybe Mora was more of the threat as well.
He was
left side,
and even up to the end of the game, he was kind of scary. And why Partey or Xhaka didn't do nothing about it? It's kind of shocking to me how if he would have lost that game, it would have probably been Xhaka messing up. Right? It's typical. But at the end of the day, the shithousery guy Then
Lamella, yeah.
he put in
Eric.
a good shot, and we could probably defend that better, of course, but I just can't stand him. I'm glad he got sent off the way he did. But Lucas is just a good player for them, and so yeah, I mean, hopefully it gets sorted out before it gets bad for us, and we just need to stop doing that to ourselves, letting players becoming a threat in the final third, and then even if we're running down. So it's kind of scary, but we got the win, so we got to take it where that goes.
Take the W and move on, right? As
Yeah.
Fernando said, Saka hasn't been rested and now picked up a hamstring. Thankfully, Pepe is playing good. I think, Sam, that's consecutive fouling in many games. Like teams will try to take away our best players. I think, as Rule has said quite correctly, Moro was probably more of the threat than Lamella. But the goal came, and you got to give. If we lost the game today, I wouldn't be talking so much about Lamella's goal. But you got to give them credit; it was a decent goal, right?
That was a very, very good goal. I see some people wondering if our defense, well, basically thinking our defense could have done more. I'm not sure we could have done more because there's people there in front of him, and what he does is just so unexpected. He all of a sudden just doing what he did that way. The defense did not see that coming, and it was just a really, really. I mean, there's a mixture of skill and good luck, and just a really well hit, cheeky Rabona shot, and it goes in, because no one saw it coming, and it ended up being a very, very good shot.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for us, because I was thinking, oh, here we fucking go, because I mean, we've hit the post twice.
Once
by that time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're hitting the post again afterwards. We had a couple of shots. We were looking like the much better team. It was completely against the run of play. And I thought, how typical is this? This is just typical. But thankfully things worked out differently.
I think while Cedric was playing well, and as a fullback, Gary, you're going to be looking at days before the game, you're like, okay, I'm going to be likely going up against Son. So you tailor your game, what you're going to do, and you sort of plan and maybe train, particularly with Son in mind. And that gets switched up after 16 minutes, and you've got another player now to deal with. And I think Lucas Moura gave him some problems that he was able to solve, actually.
Yeah, no, I mean, we saw at the end what happens if you kind of let your foot off the gas, because Moore basically took over that middle of the pitch, and we just had no answers for it, right? So, yeah, I mean, otherwise, we were able to keep them, at least keep them quiet, right? I mean, that's kind of what happened there. So we kept them quiet, I think a lot more because of our press. But as soon as we took that off, then, and we got tired and all of that stuff, we kind of that game looked totally different, right? So, but yeah, and I think we planned according to the players, and we just didn't have an answer when they put in when they made their changes, which was was kind of premature, right? At that point, if that was a halftime change or just before halftime, maybe we come out a little bit different and we play him a little bit different. But I think in the pace of the game, the way it was going, we kind of took a little step back, I guess, or just the pace was so different now of the game that they were able to take advantage. I mean, once again, it was a good shot. Can't take anything away from him. Just
I mean, perfectly placed in that corner. Yeah. Perfectly placed in that corner.
Ball, it's one of those things where the ball doesn't have to travel that fast, but as long as it's accurate, but the defense doesn't see it coming. I mean, there's no way Leno sees it, and by the time the center backs see it, it's between both of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that moves an inch either way, going from where he kicks it. It's probably getting get cut out by one of the center backs when they see it, but it was just perfectly placed. By the time they saw it, it was like it was gone. So
want to shout out Davey Grant. He won his bout in the UFC the other night, so shout out for him.
Okay.
Doing that. Okay, the goal. Let's talk about this goal. Who wants to go first? Sam, you want to go first on the Tierney goal? Actually, let's not talk about the Tierney goal. We have to talk about Cedric. Let's talk about Cedric. His battle with Lucas Moura and great balls from Gabriel and David Luiz out to the left back spot. We were doing that for most of the first half. Doherty didn't have an answer for it. We talked about this, all 4 or 5 of us on the pregame. Their right defensive area is as bad as ours with Hector Bellerin in the team. So we were able to exploit that. Emile Smith-Rowe getting to the byline, and he crosses it to Lacazette. I don't know how Lacazette missed that chance, but it comes to the edge of the box, right? And there's a foot race between Moura and Cedric. I thought Moura just did enough to put Cedric off. He hit the upright.
Because he had a lot of opening on that right side, right?
Yeah. You shoot at.
That's unfortunate. That's the one thing Lacazette really is lacking, is that finishing, isn't it? Because this is something he often does in games. He'll miss really easy chances, and that's unfortunate because he holds up the ball so well. He'll bring in the other players so well, but then when he gets his chances, he just keeps missing, and he does it game after game after game. He might score one goal here or there. Today it was a penalty, but this is the thing with that, because that's the one side of his game that's really lacking, unfortunately. If he could score goals, if he was clinical, he would be a very, very good striker for us. But just again, lacking in that finishing department. Like you said, the chance he got didn't finish very well.
How frustrated were you feeling at that time, Sam?
Oh, it's just typical, It's just this Lacazette again, I like Lacazette today. Don't get me wrong; he played very well today. And he gave it his all. I mean, he was completely worn out, 15, 20 minutes from the end, because he gave it his all. And we know he's a player who can't do 90 minutes anyway. He doesn't really have that stamina anymore, unfortunately. So, another reason why he should be sold, to be honest. I mean, you've got a player who can't play 90 minutes. Sorry, you shouldn't, we need to move him on. But he really did give it his all. He had a good game. Unfortunately, as we know, with Lacazette, he's lacking in the finishing department, isn't he?
Yeah. The ball comes to Cedric. Great shot. Hits the upright.
Yeah, as I said, hits the upright. Nice finish. But that's, again, the post is in the way, and this is it's our luck. Just our luck, isn't it? Bad luck again.
Nemesis.
Yeah. It would have been a screamer, though. It would have been an absolute screamer had it gone in.
Yeah, but nice goal. Really nice goal. Yeah, Cedric has it in his locker to score goals.
A little bit of slice on it, but we would not be denied, man, here. 44th minute, Emile Smith-Rowe feeds Tierney. Tierney, this is the best move of the game. Tierney drops the shoulder on Doherty and slips him to the outside. There's a second where Doherty thinks about taking him down, and Tierney's able to get away, feeds the ball into Odegaard, and a little bit like Aston Villa against us, if you don't shoot, you're not going to score. And Odegaard has been playing well in the Europa League on Thursday night, scores for us through the legs of, I think it was all the world.
Yeah,
I think he just clips him on the leg, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? There's been, I think, multiple people went out and actually got went into the kitchen or went out. I went outside to go open the gate, and I came back and I was like, Odegaard again. What? It's just our luck sometimes that everybody decides to do something. I'll go and carry something to eat. Just for 2 minutes, I'm gonna go make Gary something, just a little bit of noodles or boil the water for a cup of tea or something. And by the time I turn my head and get back to the TV, it's like, again, oh my God, come on. Second time in the week. Guys, when I was watching the Olympiacos game, I was like, just wishing I really wish for Odegaard to get his debut goal. And he goes and scores a screamer, and he goes and puts in the performance today, another goal. Oh man! Oh.
Just a great goal, Alonso. The way that Tierney slips Doherty there really makes the goal.
Yeah, and I was really happy about that because we struggled with that sometimes to make a perfect pass, right? And so the way that Odegaard touches it is pretty remarkable, and going in the net, it was just I'm so happy because we have a hard time always like fighting back and trying to get the goal, the right goal, at the right moment, and so just a great start by Tierney, great pass, and the great confidence that Odegaard now has to execute that goal. It's pretty remarkable. That strike he took was just so exciting to see that. And the future is bright with the kid, and I hope that we retain him because you can see it there. He wants to be here, and it's kind of special.
Yeah.
Tierney's a special player. I think Gary, we're seeing Tierney like starting to look around the dressing room and say, listen, I'm one of the more senior players in this team now because we do have a good contingent of younger players. And, he's a certainty for that left back spot every game. So he's starting to accept, I think, the responsibility of his role in the team. And I think this is almost a pre-captain phase for him, pre-nomination of captain, I would say. Yeah, you see him kind of doing what he can to lift the team on his back.
Yep. This is one of those games where it's you don't need all that fire. You just look at what he's doing out there, right? Continually putting pressure on them. Like you didn't hear much coming from that side from their team, right? So defensively we were looking strong on that side of the field. Him putting attacking that left side of the field over and over and over again, right? It was just when it was with 5 minutes left, the back of my head, I'm always like, should I say it? Should I not? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it because let's close out this half, right? Let's close out this half strong, basically, and we did. So, yeah, I mean, Tierney was the one. I mean, the whole game has been there. Like I said, eventually one of his crosses got past their defense where it was just sitting there open for whoever wants to make that attempt at it. And this time it was Erdiger who made it and put a nice ball in. Did it hit the defender before it went in, or?
Yeah, it went through his legs a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit like what Watkins did to Gabriel, I think it was, or holding for the Villa goal.
Yeah,
hey guys, I gotta go. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Yeah.
Thanks, Alonso. Celebrate those 3 points.
Morning, Gunner.
Yeah.
Big W today.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. See you later. So we finished. We closed out the half the way we want.
Yeah.
Right. And we closed it out the same way we had it. The same way the whole half was going. Right. We didn't forget. We didn't okay, they scored. All right. And next, 5 minutes, I can see the cross. I can see the finishing tape. I'm gonna really. What does that say there? Smith Rowe really impressed me today. I see a similar process happening like Spurs 5 years ago, where a new young manager comes in and you heavily invest in the youth. Future looks bright for Arsenal. Yeah, Smith Rowe and Saka, and if we're able to hold on to Erdiger, right? And then if Martinelli figures out whatever he has to do to get on the field, you have 4 players that could fit in. Could if they needed to fit into those 4 spots, but definitely have a good strong rotation no matter what you do offensively. So definitely.
Can we buy Declan Rice? Well, Charlie from West Hammers chat.
Expensive.
It's going to be a pretty shiny coin, Sam. That we're going to need there.
Well, I thought I can't remember who, but there was a club that went after him last season. I can't remember who it was, and they quoted 80 million for him.
I think it was Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Was it Chelsea?
Yeah.
They quoted West Ham wanted 80 million. 80 million they wanted. So I think we can spend that money on Basuma. We can spend it on Basuma and 2 other players probably.
Yeah, that's 2 or 3 players for us right now. Because I think we've got enough talent. We don't need to spend that money.
We are completely stacked with talent, guys. Stacked.
Our window. Do you think our window is going to come, Sam? I know it's 1 game. Okay, I know you've been. If things continue like this, then Arteta could be the manager we think some of us think could be
Well,
good. And we
for
have
me,
the youth in
yeah.
place. Could we continue
Well,
to
you see,
progress?
with some good player, you know, good players will always make a team better. That is just the way it is. So if we can do some good recruitment in the summer and bring in some good players to supplement with the talent, because we got good talent, we need to use them. You know, they are good enough, so we can't replace them. We need to supplement them, you know, with other good players. And we need to do the right recruitment. We don't need to buy the best, most expensive. They need to be the right players. I would like Premier League proven, you know, people who have been in the Premier League, who have had good performances. Don't have to be the most expensive, but good. And for me, you know, a good players always, like I said, they'll always improve a team. I think with the right improvement and not using Xhaka, not using Bellerin, hopefully not using Luis, we will improve next season. We will probably do a lot better. Arteta's got it in him to do, you know, with a good team to definitely make us better. What worries me with Arteta, which again worried me today, is his match management, his game management. You know,
right?
And
yeah.
he does this every game. He makes things so difficult for us during a game, and we lose so much of our advantage and basically the advantage we have in the game. We lose so much throughout the second half because of his poor game management. And that to me is the worrying factor with him. That to me is the difference between a top level manager and someone who's not, is someone who can actually affect and manipulate the game in a positive way from the sidelines. And that, unfortunately for me, is not Arteta. That's my biggest gripe with him. That, and together with what I feel has been a lot of poor man management as well, you know, with treating players differently, which I think he's had a problem with. But listen, today was a very good game. Mm-hmm. We outplayed Tottenham. He outfoxed Mourinho, and now listen. But as I've been saying, we did this against Leicester, and then we had Burnley, which wasn't very good, and now we've had Spurs again right now, which is good. I mean, forget Olympiacos, they were shit. We had Spurs today, which was a good team. We outplayed them. We beat them. Had a very, very good performance. Now, for me, as I said before, it's consistency. Now, we've got to go and listen, I don't expect us to go and thrash West Ham the next game. That's not what I'm expecting. But I want us to win the game, and I want us to not have brain farts from Luis and Xhaka, and I want us to again, win by maybe a 1 or 2 goal margin and show the same kind of not necessarily total dominance, but to show that we are the better team. That's what I want to see. If we see that then against West Ham, I am going to start saying, okay, this is starting to look good, and I will be more positive. Again, we need to see his match management, because that's where we keep lacking that match management.
I wanted 6 points from these 3 games. Now we've got 3 points. If we get a win either against Liverpool or West Ham, I'd be happy with that kind of progress. 6 out of 9 is not bad for these 3 games. And then we see Sheffield United, Fulham, Everton, Newcastle, West Brom, Chelsea, Palace, and Brighton. They will present, Sam has said, these are teams in the lower half. They will present different challenges to us that we will obviously have to go through them as and when we meet them. Gary, you put a couple of things in here. Mikel Arteta has now defeated every team in the Premier League's Big Six.
Yeah, I mean, he's the youngest manager, and he's beat all of them so far. So, I guess a big thumbs up to him for doing that. So, like I said, that was for you, because you are the Arteta in our group right now, the big one.
Well, listen, if somebody brings something to the podcast, I'm going to say, listen, Gary brought this. I'm not going to take it.
No, but it was for you. It was for you because we are. So today. I'm not even on the fence. So whether Arteta's in or out, but
you guys have been doing a lot of this to me as well lately. You know that, right?
Hey, you've been doing a lot of this to us. You poke us and then you run off home to mom.
Yeah,
and you close the door and you stand behind her looking at us, going.
He does the old traditional knock on the door and runs off. He goes, knock, and then he fucking runs.
He doesn't lie. It's true. It's true. The other stat as well that you put up there, Orbinho, 5 minutes, 5 chances per.
What's that stat? I don't understand that stat. Can you explain that stat to me?
Yeah, so that stat
Sorry.
basically is saying that for every chances created in open play, every every 50 minutes,
minute,
Smith Rowe's
15.
creating a chance, which is the low.
He's creating a chance every 15 minutes on average.
Yeah, which is the best on their team right now. Odegaard's right behind him. Then there's Turney, and then Ceballos, Willian, Pepe, and Lacazette. So the youth are doing what we want, right? They're giving us chances to score when they're on the field. So in a game, we get 2 to 3 chances from just them, just those
our three best young players: Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and Tierney. Not in that order, but Smith Rowe is the one that's given us the highest frequency of chances, and that's good. That's good. So 1-1, Maher 1-1 at halftime, and as we said, it would have been very, very harsh if we went in 1-0 down with creamy Lamela smiling his big face and being happy. Glad he was going in, shaking his head a little bit because we'd equalized.
Yeah, what a dickhead. Mind my language, but what a dickhead. He did this the last derby. When Torreira scored, I think, didn't he do something similar where he was telling the fans, shh, or something, quiet down, or jumped up into the stands, and then guess what? Immediately after, go home, boys. And Torreira sealed it so nicely, and I had tears in my eyes. I remember that day. I took a picture, I'll send it to you guys. It's very funny. Because you can quite see my whole face covered and tears, and I'm just standing there like this. I'm like, thank you, Arsenal. Thanks, Torreira.
In the second half, at the end of the first half, Reguilon fouls Saka, Gary. So, Saka had to go off, and Pepe came on, playing on the right side this time.
Yeah, they. I mean, nowadays, Pepe coming onto the game, he's been giving us more than in the past, so it doesn't really matter what side. And we know Saka's been getting beat up every game, right? So, it eventually came back. It eventually wore him down. He even got a break off, and it still didn't help. I think he needs more, right? I mean, that is the one thing that we have. We have a lot of young players, and they're not ready for the grind of a full season, right? Like, typically, 19-year-old isn't playing every game anyways, right? No matter how good they are, because bodies just aren't ready for it. So I think that was, I guess it was bound to happen. I guess the more he played, the more that he's a threat to the other team, that they're gonna try to take him out, and I guess they did a good job. But I think as a whole, our 11 were just stronger than theirs today, and so it didn't make a difference. So I know Sam wants to speak. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I just want to say one thing in regards to injuries. I'm gonna try. I don't want to make this long. Just a very small. Yeah. It's just very interesting. I don't know if you guys call the Gooners podcast with Colin Lewin.
No,
with Mike from the Gooners podcast.
I know he'd advertise. I just didn't.
He had a podcast very recently with Colin Lewin. He used to be our head physio. After Gary Lewin left, and he was assistant head physio under Gary Lewin, his cousin. And it was very, very interesting because he actually explained in very good detail why we have so many injuries. And it was really fascinating to listen. I mean, he knew what he was talking about. And basically, I just want to say that the difference is, he was explaining how much difference there is in the frequency of injuries between teams who play all those extra games like in Europe and when they go further in the cups. Basically, when you're playing like 60 plus games a season,
instead of 40 plus, you're playing
instead of just 40 odd, you're playing 60 plus games. The frequency of injuries just goes through the roof. He said you can see it with every club that has all those extra games, playing 3 times a week, basically, instead of just once a week. once every Saturday. You're playing like a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday again, and all that. When you get into that type of frequency of games, he said the injuries. That's it. The injuries just because it's like when they're playing at that level of intensity in the Premier League, the body just can't take it. It just, no matter how much work you do before or after games, the body's just not suited to that amount of intensity all the time. So he said that's where proper squad rotation comes in, together with good recovery, together with good prevention training as well. But he said that rotation, knowing how many minutes you're getting out of your players, is so vital. So it was really well explained, and he said some of it is, of course, down to luck, but he said most of it is down to rotating the players correctly, because it is just them playing too many games. That's what it is.
I mean, and if you think about that as well, I mean, when Saka played those 2 big games for England, right? We said it, back then. You know what? He probably needs to take a little bit of a break, and a lot of fans wanted him to play, and it was like, you know what? I get it, but if he's going to play like he did in those 2 European games, he needs to rest, and it's not for the next game; it's for these games now, right?
And we see now what's happened. He hasn't rested, and look what happened today. He looked like he might have pulled his hamstring today.
Yeah. So Gary, 4 points behind Tottenham now. Same games played. 2 points behind Liverpool. We're playing later. They'll have a game more. And Aston Villa have 1 game on us, but we're level on points with them. We're starting to pull some of the teams in a little bit.
You just got to play, like I said, we have to play our game. And you know what? None of those, the only team out on that list really is Chelsea that might have something to say about, our style of play, right? I think we should be able to play our style a lot more than defend against theirs, right? So, especially Liverpool, I mean, if we can catch them, just still trying to figure it out, right? Then we should be able to get something on it. And even if they did figure it out, I think they just don't have the 11 that they would like to have playing a team like us who's on our way up, right? We're trending upwards from there. They've hit a drop, and now they're trying to get back. But they may not be able to get back before we play them, which would be nice, because we need to get every win, and these wins against the people ahead of us are these are nice points to have, right? Every time we win in the next, we win those, if we're able to win all those games, then, and, especially if we're able to rotate and get our good guys in, because like you said, that's going to be key as well. So, yeah. I like the way we played today. And like I said, we've seen halves, right? Now we've seen almost a whole game,
Yeah.
So
we're seeing what we want to achieve, right? With this team.
Yeah. So I don't know whose beep that was. Was that me? I don't.
I think it was my ears. I think.
Let's keep going, because I know, Gary, you got to leave in a couple of minutes, right? Why don't you give us your nominated man of the match, Gary, and then we'll get into the man of the match before. Are you staying a little bit, Sam?
Yeah, I'll go about another 5 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
Well, 5, 6, 7. So about 7 minutes.
It'll be Mahir and I and Tony to close it out. So let's have your nomination, Gary, and then we'll take Sam's nomination.
We saw some good play from Tierney, Gabriel, and Erdegaard today. I mean, those 3 plays stood out for me a lot today. But like I said, I was looking to see which one of the big 3 for us was going to show up as much. I mean, Partey didn't look, he wasn't like standing up, but it wasn't any negative plays from him. I think he was pretty good today, but I think he can do better. But I mean, I think Tierney for me is the man of the match. I mean, he put a lot of pressure on them coming off that left side. And I think that helped our defense in the sense that they just could not get anything coming off that side of the field. Right. And, so yeah, I'm going to go with Tierney. He did. I was looking for the big 3 to show up, and he definitely carried his weight today. So
yeah, you highlighted the big 3: Saka, Partey, and Tierney. Diagonal access there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good nomination. I probably may pick him myself. Sam, your man in the match.
Yes, for me, I would like to say that I think everyone had a really good game today. I mean, who started the game. Had a very good game today. Tierney, excellent. Cedric, very good. Partey. Partey's got so much quality in that midfield. The stuff he does there, the way he carries that ball forward and steps in between players with the ball and breaks ranks, with the ball is so good to see. He gives us that extra dimension. And I'll tell you what, it's Partey for me who is giving us that ability to break midfield and get the ball to the attack, because when he breaks those midfield ranks by stepping past them, he gets into space and then he can pass the ball on to Saka or Ødegaard or Smith Rowe or, Lacazette, who might be meeting deep. It's so vital that the role he is playing there. The other guys, Saka, decent, maybe not quite 100% today. We saw, unfortunately got injured. The kid's been playing too much. So, he shouldn't have really played today for me. I don't think really we saw that. But Smith Rowe had an excellent game. The way he carries the ball, he's got this way of playing that's different level. It really is. The way he just glides past players, and he's always in the right position, always. And the way he moves off the ball, pulling defenders away from other players, finding the channels to run into. The way he understands the football game, he's a whole different level. He really is. And then he's got another guy from Norway who is 2 years older than him, who is also on that level or maybe even slightly higher. And to have these two guys in our attack is special. It really is.
Gary's going to break away now.
Sorry. Yes.
All right, Sam.
Gary.
Sam,
Thanks.
Tony, Mahir, Ray, thanks for having me on. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. All right.
Ray Anderson, I dropped the link in the chat there. If you want to use it, you can join us by all means. And maybe even Sam might like Brownie to join us. I'm not sure about that.
I've got to go in a minute anyway. But I was just saying that. But I mean, having Smith Rowe and Ødegaard together, that is so special. I mean, those two. It's like having two Özils in the team. It really is.
Yeah.
Those guys are Özil level when it comes to vision and passing. They're Özil level. So to have two of them is so special.
There's nothing wrong with having two 10s on the field that could probably play 8. There could be 8s and there could be 10s as well.
Today we saw it, and it worked well against Tottenham. So there's no reason why we can't.
We've seen it before. We've been seeing it before, Sam. So did you give Emile Smith Rowe as your nomination?
So what I was going to say was I really like Smith Rowe, but for me, just because I felt he was at the same level, but because he got the vital goal we needed to get back into the game, he added a goal to his game as well. For me, it's Ødegaard. He gets man of the match for me.
Slight bias there, but I understand.
He got the goal we needed, and he had a very good game, I think, as well.
He did play very, very well. So yeah, definitely 3 points to savor here, Sam, as we move forward. West Ham next week in the league. We've already talked about that, but we'll touch on that again on Thursday night. Hopefully we seal the deal now. We don't do anything too Arsenal. Hopefully we don't do anything too Arsenal on Thursday night. Gary's back for some reason.
Daylight savings time.
Another hour.
I went into the group and it was nobody there, and I'm like, it's dark in here. Why is nobody here? And I looked again. I was like, wait a second. It was 9 p.m. UK time. All right. So I'm off by an hour.
All right, Sam, you're out of here. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I better go now. So thanks a lot for having me, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, Sam.
Bye,
See you later.
Bye.
3 points.
Bye-bye.
See you, my brother. Have a nice.
Very nice, sexy time, Kazakhstan. Yes.
Very sexy time for Tottenham, yeah.
Very nice South Africa, right? All right, so listen, we got your nomination. If Tony ever comes back, we will have, here we go with Brownie. So yeah, we'll bring Brownie in. Good guy.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, Brownie.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing
Doing
good.
Doing well. Fast and furious.
I know.
All the way. all the way from Spain.
I'm just picking up my food, guys. I'm just picking up my food.
All right.
I've
What
had
are you having today? What are you having today?
another Thai, Ray. It's another Thai. A Thai green curry I'm having
nice.
today.
Hey, get some humble
Extra
pie.
hot.
Get some humble pie for Sam, will you?
Oh, I can't believe it. Have I missed him now? Have I missed him now?
Yeah,
you see, he ran
he
off.
bounced.
He ran off.
He bounced.
But no, congratulations to Arsenal and Arsenal fans. And as I said in my my comments, congratulations to Mikel Arteta, who can stick his middle finger up to all his doubters.
Brownie, did he make the right choice in terms of discipline and culture, dropping Oba?
I think he surprised Mourinho with doing it. But I thought Mourinho felt like we all did, really, which was Oba not really droppable. And then when he actually did drop him, he already had Mourinho on the back foot before any ball was kicked.
Yeah.
You know, crafty. You know, and I bet Pep could have had a little word in his ear about making such a decision before the game. You never know.
Yeah, good stuff.
I better get my mask on. I do apologize.
Yeah, definitely. Be safe. Drive safe.
Hey, what was I going to say? I hope you guys can join me on the Cardiff Swansea watch along next weekend.
Saturday?
I think it's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
I think I might be able to swing that. I'm going to do something with Darren as well, but I think I might be able to swing that.
Well, if you can get Tony in on it as well, and then I'll bring you guys in at halftime, and because I could well have a few numbers watching. Let's just say, especially after the yesterday.
I was sorry to hear about the Watford result in the 94th minute. Those ones are tough.
Well, listen, we brought a reserve goalkeeper in about 2 months ago, and he's been playing so well that it was just impossible to drop him. Unfortunately, he made his first mistake in the 94th minute yesterday.
We know how that feels.
Yeah, hopefully he's a big enough person now to take that on board and move on, because even after that mistake, he doesn't deserve to be dropped. I feel far more secure as a Cardiff fan with him in a goal than the actual first team goalkeeper.
I'll check that for you, Stefan. What time is kickoff for Cardiff?
Yeah, no worries.
You might not have that in your minds there, Brownie.
He's got green tie in his mind right now.
I know. I have. I'm giving a little plug to. Adam. Tinena. Right, listen, I gotta go, guys. My food is ready.
Thanks.
All right.
It's gonna be 1:30 here on the Eastern. 1:30, which is what? It'll be like 5:30 your time.
Right. Okay. That's not too bad, man.
5:30 in the UK time, 1:30 here in the States. So that's what the time it's going to be, Stefan.
So be
thanks, Brownie.
Yeah,
thanks
no
for
problem,
popping in.
Hey, enjoy the rest of your day, and once again, congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to quickly get through the second half and all of the horror stuff right at the end.
No worries at all. No worries.
Win is a win, and you're going to have to face these things sooner or later.
Listen, at the end of the day, no one is going to remember the performance or whatever. People are just going to remember. The only fact you remember is the final score. That's the bottom line.
Hey, one last thing, Brownie. We have a bet about Everton Arsenal.
Oh, I know. You know what? Do I? You know what?
Brownie, I keep trying to help Ray out, because every time we do our upset pick, I think at least three times I've picked Everton, and they've come through for me every time. So
no,
they didn't come through for you, but they come through for Gary.
But it's crazy now. They've lost at home to Fulham. They've lost at home to Burnley.
Burnley.
And you know, they can't. It's very much like a Liverpool team years ago. You know, they get up for the bigger games, and then they can't beat the smaller teams. And honestly, after the season finishes, Everton would look back on their results and they think we missed out on the top four because of performances like Burnley. Because I'm convinced now.
Arsenal will say the same thing.
I'm convinced now West Ham are going to get fourth. I'm convinced. I think
they're playing United strong today. They're playing United.
Yeah. But after Chelsea's performance against Leeds yesterday, only coming away with a point, Everton losing, I think it's all set up now for Chelsea to grab that fourth position.
I think Chelsea will grab it. I think Chelsea are good enough.
I don't. Well, it's in West Ham's hands, isn't it? I suppose if they win today, they back in fourth.
They've got tough games.
But when you know yourself, momentum, anything is. Anything.
Yeah, I have a list here. West Ham have to play ourselves, Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester, Newcastle, Chelsea, Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton. So there's some tricky games in there.
There's some tricky games, but that's Premier League for you, isn't it? You know, Everton wouldn't afford to put the Burnley game was tricky. They wouldn't afford Fulham game was tricky. But it's something about that defensive partnership of Souček and Rice, in which I'm really, really impressed with. And I do have a man crush on Thomas Souček. I tell you, the next club he goes to will be a very lucky club because I'd be very surprised that everyone's not watching him at the moment.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, how does a team like West Ham lose both players? I mean,
they'll lose one each season probably.
Well, the thing is, when you got, no, I'm gonna say it politely. When you got horrible owners like what West Ham have, who show them a pound note and they'd sell a grandmother for a pound note. Them owners. That's where a buying club could potentially raid West Ham, Rice, Souček. Even, you guys are on about Bellerin, you want a new right back and so on. I tell you what, the other Czech at West Ham, Kufal, what a signing he would be as well. What a signing he would be. And anyone looking for a right back can't look any further than him at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, Bellerin is such, it's not that hard to improve from him right now. I think that's what I feel, right? And we don't really do we have to spend a lot of money to do that? I don't think we do. The trick is, can we get anything for him?
Thanks for stopping by, Brownie.
Yeah, no, just one more point as well, just to come back with to Gary's point as well regarding would they sign. People need to remember that. That West Ham don't own their stadium either. It's rented, so they haven't got that. They haven't got that land asset, that London land asset as well, in which they can bargain with, two potential lenders. So
they got loans and whatnot.
Yeah. So, I could see an absolute raid going on in the West Ham in the summer, or at the latest in January. If they do get to, get into Europe and they get knocked out earlier, then players may want to stay for Europe. But if they get knocked out early, then it'll go in January.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But I better go, gentlemen, and driving while I'm talking to you.
Thanks, Brownie. Number one.
See you, Brownie. Yes.
You take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thanks. See you. You too. All right, Gary, let's get into the second half. Brownie lurking around in the shadows. Nice one, Stephen. Pretty quickly, so second half, we have Emile Smith-Rowe run and Tierney. We're kind of bossing the left-hand side, Gary. Arsenal's on top, and then we get the penalty decision. A great pass from Pepe. He really fizzed that into Lacazette. Laka was able to control it. Should have gotten a decent shot on it. He actually miskicked it a little bit. But
when you see it, you're like, how did you miss that ball? I don't. How did you miss that ball? I mean, that's your job. Man, it was a really bad miss, and he got kind of bailed out the fact that there was a foul on him at the time, so we got the PK at that. But wow, you know what? You're missing that, but you're also missing ones that aren't as difficult, right? So that was a pretty tough volley to volley that ball in the air. But then he's missing things on the ground at his feet. And it's like, those are the negatives for him, because we need to get some goals from him from open play. Not his last 2 goals are from the spot, right? So
is that Leicester City?
Yeah. So he needs to, we need to get a little bit more out of him, because that's what he's supposed to do. So
Maher was there. It was slight doubt in my mind. You're watching the replays. I'm thinking, the experience we've had with VAR always seemed to find a way to chalk a goal away from us. You know what I mean? Always seems that way. So I'm convincing myself there's no way they're going to give us a penalty, because, it was after the shot from Lacazette. The challenge comes in. But, a dangerous challenge is a dangerous challenge in the box, right?
I was being super quiet and shouting at the TV, it's a penalty. It's a penalty.
Gooners around the world were doing that. That's a penalty. That's a penalty.
As soon as I saw it, and I was just like, ref, penalty. Don't care. I don't care about whether it's right or wrong. Give the penalty to us, the North London Derby. We deserve some luck along the way. Some sort of luck once every 100 game.
Once every 100 years, more like. Yeah.
Then I watched it back and I was like, oh my God, he's just going to resend it. It's going to be one of those games. He's going to resend it. Nothing's going to happen. A goal kick. And we're just not going to be able to get that second opportunity. We're going to attack and attack and attack. Somehow they're going to get a goal. And then I was thinking then I saw the ref and he says, it's a penalty. And I was like, okay. Right.
Yeah. And
now
Davinson Sanchez, he puts his hand up like, oh, I didn't touch him, these players. And then it is a giveaway sign that it's going to be a penalty. Lacazette steps up.
As soon as you see the yellow card, then can you give a penalty without a yellow card, or a yellow card without a penalty in those type of situations?
So famously, we a lot of us Arsenal fans know about this now because of David Luiz. Apparently, if you make a challenge and you try to play the ball, you'll always get a yellow card no matter what happens. If you try to make a challenge, you'll always get a yellow card in the box. You'll never get a red card. It's very, very.
But it kind of makes sense, though, right? I mean, if you're actually playing some football out there and not just trying to be a little sneaky there and get one over on the referee, then at least and if you come up through the back and they see the studs on your shoes, then you know what? That's a red, right? So you got to be careful about how you do it. Just keep your feet down and go low and get the ball. Maybe you get the ball, maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. You're trying to save a goal.
Yeah.
So,
as Ray Anderson said, it's a penalty. Sanchez kicked him down in the box. Talked to Brownie quite a bit on here. Says Stefan, only thing wrong is he likes Madrid. He is a good egg. Hey, I was getting my Thai food. Not a Thai girl. Listen, if you have the opportunity, go over and subscribe to Brownie as well. He has his own YouTube channel, as does Gary. He's a little bit more active than this guy, who also has a YouTube channel, who's less active. So,
not active.
I'll leave it there. A genuine attempt to play the ball, penalty, and a yellow. So, I think Warren will definitely have to have you on podcast coming one of these days soon. How you doing, Brownie? All right. So Gary, we're 2-1 up. I'm thinking 64 minutes. I'm thinking we got to close the game out a little bit more. And yeah, we actually, Lacazette putting the ball in the Lamella corner was kind of nice as well. So he put that penalty away with some conviction.
Yeah. had the goalkeeper going the wrong way, and before he can know it, he looked back and balls in the net. It was really
In the
nice.
corner.
Yep.
Really nice. Sent him the
70
wrong way.
minutes. We talked about this earlier. It's kind of natural, I feel, if you get into a 2-1 lead, the natural tendency is sort of sit on what you have, defend. You don't want to take chances. You're not going to play like you would if you're 1-1. So we sit back a little bit. Kane crosses to Delhi, and he misses the chance for a header.
Yeah, I mean, just coming into that, anyway, at that point, that's when they started getting they racking up as many fouls as they could with no, no card in sight, and that's when the game kind of turned a little bit there. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they were getting opportunities, and that's I feel like when we kind of to some degree took our foot off the off the gas and kind of said, you know what, we had you right where we want you. Now we're going to take a little break, and I don't think there's no such thing as that.
Yeah, something that Meyer, something that Sam mentioned. The game management. Arteta, hopefully, he's going to take the tape out and roll back the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes of this game, and understand what he did, when he did it, and how it changed the game. You got Emile Smith Rowe comes off. He's tired. That's fine. But bring on maybe an Elneny, not a Willian, who I didn't see much from Willian in those 12, 15 minutes.
Neither did I. Game management we've been discussing for many a season. Here at Arsenal Fan Circle.
Much of this season as well.
Yes. But when it comes to substitutions, I just pray that Arteta gets it right from now on. We want to back him. We want him to be our manager. A lot of people are just Arteta out because of the small quips, and when we do lose due to these type of stupid mistakes, bringing on a Willian instead of putting on more defensive options, like an Elneny, or not bringing on Martinelli and like putting on a Willian or something. Just stupid decisions, like simple stuff that you can see. I'm praying and hoping that no mistakes are made for the rest of the Europa. Because if we can get into Champions League via that, and it's a European Cup, first of all, and second of all, it's Champions League football time again. I mean, I'm not getting ahead of myself by saying we're going to win. But I'm just saying, pray.
You bring up a great point. Because, Gary, it's a cup competition, the Europa League, and we saw Arteta change. We changed how we play out from the back a little bit today against Tottenham. Do you think for the remaining quarterfinals, semifinals, however far we get in the Europa League, we should start to change the way we play out from the back a little bit more in this competition, particularly?
Well, like you said, it should depend on the team we're playing, right? Right, depending on how they're playing against us, right? I mean, if we're playing, United or somebody, we'll play a certain way, but I think it all depends. But we need to be taking advantage of where we can. So if that means, but I mean, I think Leno in general should be making sure he knows, regardless of whether the plan is to play out of the back or not, just to, make the easy pass, right? The easier pass. I mean, he can make that. He can hit those balls, mid level without, them going out of bounds. I think he kicked one straight out today.
Yeah.
Right. But he should, things he's got to work on. But I mean, yeah. So I think
things he's got to work on, definitely.
Yeah.
Tony, if you're still there, let us know.
Blink if you're,
okay,
I know. I'm trying to stall almost to nominate the man of the match. We might have to ordain the man of the match without Tony's say so, but I think it'll be okay with whoever we pick. So by here, my heart still works because Arsenal always checks on my heart as well. Harry Kane has the ball in the net. It's offside, thankfully.
There were so many of those moments where you kind of just wiping the sweat off your brow because you're like, wow, That was a close one.
Mhm.
I mean, the fact that the ball went in the net, you're like, oh man.
Which one was the bigger for you, Gary? Looking back now, was it the Harry Kane header in the net, or was it the hitting the upright and the follow up saved by Gabriel?
You know what? It's man.
I mean,
I
it
think it's
happened
I think it's the one
individually.
that
Yeah.
actually went in the net because I was like, at least. But I mean that free kick from that free kick. He once again on the a ball going across the goal, they had us beat. One went in and one did not. And like you said, Gabriel cleaning up the mess right after that. Because Leno was so far out of position at that point, and he was not coming back. So yeah, I mean, I think I would say the one that went in because you know what the one that
Yeah, I'm like, oh, jeez, that's a
the one that
goal.
went in, because there was no coming back. There was no coming back from that one. The other one, he missed it. So
Yeah, yeah. If you hit the post, unfortunately, you miss it, and we did that with Emil Smith Rowe and Cedric today. Maher, are you frozen? Nope, you're
No,
there.
no, no.
What about that Gabriel? What about the Gabriel clearance from the follow up?
No, I think it was more the Kane header, because you know those moments where you like scramble, where you're like totally lost. It looked like Leno did that. I was like, when as soon as it came off Harry Kane, I was like, he's scrambling the team. Oh my gosh! Did we just pull an Arsenal?
Love the
No.
passion. This is what Steven's talking about, you know.
Yeah, like I couldn't believe it. I was like, why? Why? And then I see the offside, and then they're like, no, it was offside. I was like, oh, how many warnings do you guys want? There's that one, and then immediately after was that free kick that hit, and then Gabriel cleared it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
how many warnings do you want? And then there was a free immediately after that, just in the closing minutes of the game. I was like, why do you want to
over the
see me
bar?
to the hospital? Really? You guys want to send me to the hospital because you guys want to allow them 5-6 opportunities? Like, oh, we're just gonna hold on to the ball. What's the worst that could happen if they score? It's gonna be a draw.
Yeah,
No,
we would have liked to hold on to the ball and take it into the corner, but I suppose we're not that team quite yet. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, though. So then you don't change your style, right? Because if you can't switch it mid game like that to close it out, and you can't bring on the players that are going to help you clear it out, because William didn't help us, and then he didn't help us to finish off this game, right?
Yeah.
And then he was a little too late by the time he came on. I mean, it would have been better to have him come on sooner because Lacazette was kind of dead, right? And then you can rotate a little bit more defensively and kind of get that ball out of there. I mean, that last 20 minutes of the game, Arteta's got to look at that and go, I can't do that again, because you do that against a Liverpool or you do that against a West Ham, they're going to punish you for it, right?
You're right, Gary. And Steven said 0-0 with West Ham. I'm looking at the stats here. West Ham have not had a shot on target or a shot yet all game. So they're holding on, I think, against United. Truthfully, probably the best result for us, Mahir, would be United to win that game.
Yeah, I don't think we're catching them, right? So
we're not catching United, but we may catch West Ham, But we'll see what happens. We could take it game by game, right?
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, ever since about 4 games ago, I've just realized no matter how hard we try or what results do swing our way, there was no chance, man. Like maybe 6-7 games ago, there was no chance that the teams above us, I wanted to say in one of the podcasts, the teams above us with games in hand that are even above us with 3 points and games in hand, that we're going to be able to catch them, which would be the likes of the Wolves and the Evertons, even though they've dropped off. I mean,
Aston Villa, Liverpool,
the Aston Villas,
Everton.
Like we couldn't catch them at that point. That was about 7 games.
What do you think now?
Now, all I think is it's all eggs in one basket. And I would love to get on a mega watch along with all of us for the game versus Olympiacos, maybe quarterfinals, semifinals, and hopefully pray for it the final and celebrate all together with each step that we can hopefully take, which
I
starts
want
next.
to. Yeah, I want to get back to the Europa League final and do a watch along and actually win it this time.
Yeah, but I would love to start sooner than that, like from quarters maybe, from the quarters,
Quarters,
like all of us
maybe, yeah.
watching the game together, going, no, are you crazy? You're gonna give me. Are you suffering a heart attack, homie? Yeah. I'm suffering a heart attack.
Stefan's going to pop off now, and we'll be leaving soon
All
in
right,
the next
Stefan.
5 or 10
Yeah,
minutes
we're
as
all
well.
gonna
But
be.
Thanks for
these
joining.
these are the podcasts we like, Gary. Winning games like this really
Yep.
puts a smile on the face, and instead of me poking you and you punching me,
What?
we're all kind of
I'm
happy
not
like
that
a big
violent.
family.
Well, you know what? The one thing is that we got to see the style of play that we feel maybe Arteta wants to play, and the
We do.
players actually got something back for that, where they didn't get punished for it by making any mistakes, which they did not today. Any mistakes that created any. I mean, they had some bad play, but no big mistakes where we gave them opportunities to score on us. I mean, if it's they missed some chances and we missed some chances, so this game probably could still be a a 1 goal lead for us. So we got the points. We got all the points. They didn't get any points today. We'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're liking the live streams, it's season 3 here. Let's try and get to 30 likes and slap a like on it if you're liking it. Let's close out the game. Let's close this game out, Gary. So, what do you see moving forward now? The Europa League should take care of itself, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that to me. I mean, I kind of would like to see Martinelli in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking to see in that game.
Actually, let's go
Yeah.
ahead and do the Don Juan first.
All right.
So
Well,
your nomination
was Tierney.
Ernie.
Yeah.
Am I here?
Emil Smith Rowe, very hardworking. Love the young guy with all of his energy.
Listen, I'm gonna need help in the comments section because I'm really I was leaning towards Tierney, but I did love what Emil Smith Rowe was doing as well. So my vote would go for Tierney. Completely, Emil Smith Rowe played really, really well, and so let me know in the comment section what your nominations were for the man of the match. Gary, the Europa League, we should take care of business as long as we don't go out there and walk around like 11 Williams on the field. That can't happen, right?
No, I mean, well, I mean, if you think about it, you've got, I guess most likely you're going to see Louise and Marie, Louise, Mari and Holding probably come in, right?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of nice, right? We've got a rotation at our center backs. We've got a rotation at our front four. Partey being healthy and coming out of this game, right? And that at least from what I can tell, no injuries. The more goals he had, goals. The reason why I said goals is United just scored. So,
great. Well,
yeah, but
it is. I mean, we don't like it, right? But
yeah.
it's
we don't
if
like
it gets
it.
above West Ham in the grand scheme of things,
yeah,
we'll take it.
Yeah, it's too many points for us to kind of catch them, right? We have to be perfect, and they have to be not perfect for the entire rest of the season. So,
United, yeah.
But like I said, now I lost my train of thought there a little bit. But yes, going into the Europa League, like I said, I think Pepe's come on the last couple of games, so hopefully he'll get a full game to go out there and play. Hopefully he gets to play it on his preferred side. Milsworth, Rowe, and Erdegaard, one of them probably will be resting, right? Most likely, probably. What, Milsworth, Rowe? I don't know. Or Erdegaard.
Yeah, listen,
one of the two
I would rest
will probably be resting,
Rowe.
right?
Definitely,
William probably will come in, right?
I think both of them are going to rest, Gary.
You think
I
both of them are going to rest?
William may be your creative player.
Well, Saka might be out already, so that's why I'm thinking you might be down even extra man, right?
Pepe will play.
Yeah, but
Maybe
you don't have a
Aubameyang will
bench.
play on the left.
Yeah,
With
but you don't
Lacazette
have
in the middle.
Okay, so but I mean they'll be on the bench, those two, right?
Mhm.
So, Ceballos maybe come in and give Xhaka some rest. I know that's not really the right side of the field, but I mean, I guess Ceballos has his own his own problems as well. So I don't even know which one. Maybe El Neni gets to play with Partey, and then you know. So yeah, but it'd be nice to come in, get a goal early in that game, right? And then kind of go to sleep kind of on it. So yeah.
Tony, you coming back in? Stephen would like to see you for the last few minutes of the podcast. It'd be really nice. Yeah. So listen, I think Mahir, we should, as Gary said, we're kind of going through the team. Players. Bellerin's probably going to play. I would like Bellerin to play for just to give him a run out, so that West Ham we could go back to Cedric. Like to see maybe Tierney. Well, Cedric might play left back then. Tierney needs a rest. I got to believe he expended a lot of energy today. Tierney did. And by the way, we have a three-way tie, Tony, for man of the match. 2 votes for Tierney, 2 votes for Odegaard, and 2 votes for Emile Smith-Rowe. And that's including the guys in the comments as well. Willian, I think, will play behind the striker. But listen, that's for another day. Maher, great 3 points. We're going to get out of here.
He's fantastic.
Mahir, this is going to be like a cherished archive in the history of Arsenal fan circle. Mahir will have started the game and not got substituted by the end of the game. You finished the game as well, Mahir.
Yes, I am the number 10.
And listen, we understand the time difference is difficult for everyone to be here all of the time. And sometimes you have to leave. And we have a good crew here. I got to commend everybody from Sam to Tony, Alonso, Anthony from time to time, and the 2 of you, Mahir and Gary. So it's a good crew we have here. Got to keep on giving you compliments, but it's deserved. And you have to hear it from me as well. And Tony, you're all right too, Tony.
I got it.
Tony said, "Oh, he's back. Okay, so he gets to talk."
Tony, you get to break the tie-breaker because we have 3 players on 2 votes. Who's your man of the match?
To me, there's a tie between Gabriel and Smith-Rowe, so Smith-Rowe wins it.
Emile Smith-Rowe is man of the match for today. Good stuff. I tipped him up to be the first goal scorer. We're still waiting for that first goal. He did score in the FA Cup, but waiting for his first Premier League goal. Tony, how do you see the next few games going? We should be able to take care of the second leg, and then we've got West Ham on Sunday.
It'll be a tricky match. We should be able to beat them though.
I want to make an announcement as well. On Sunday, I probably will have to not be around, so we may do the podcast on Monday, just so everyone knows. And as a final item of things on the list, the agenda, want to wish everybody, every mother, a really, really great Mother's Day. Do you celebrate that in South Africa, Mahir?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So the special days, I must say, we should do it more often rather than not. Every maybe second week, a Mother's Day, a Wife's Day, whatever the case may be, just to show those special people that we do love them and appreciate all that they do.
Yeah, definitely. So to all the mothers out there who are watching, happy Mother's Day. Gary, you got anything?
No, yeah, like you said, it's Happy Mother's Day. I initially I thought I missed it over here, and I was like,
yeah, it's
That's I know. So I was like, because my sister sent it in a text, but it was to my dad, like Happy Mother's Day, Dad. So I was like,
that was a tap on the shoulder, right?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, did I miss something? But no, I didn't. So, but yeah. No, happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there in Europe and basically around the world, right? So
everywhere except the States, right? Probably.
Everybody else is celebrating except for us.
This country does things differently, right?
Yeah.
Oi, Stephen, oi oi, Tony, how's my hero doing? Tony is the type of guy when everything's going against him to grab life by the scruff of the neck and kick it in the balls. So
Yeah, and then
They-
step on it just to make sure that it's it's like a.
Completely crushed.
Tony, if you're being held, kidnapped or captured, give us a sign.
Yeah, I was asking you to blink, but you weren't blinking, so I didn't know what was going on. Blink if you're in trouble, and you didn't blink, so I was like, "Oh no, they got him."
Yeah. Down a leg, and my grandmother passed away, said Tony. So Tuesday. So I believe the service is going to be on St. Patrick's Day, Tony.
Yep, you're speaking Gaelic at it.
Yeah. Our condolences once again to you for your loss. Really, really. Keep her in your heart. She's going to live on. Grandmothers are very, very dear to us, and you know they take care of all the nice things in life when mothers have to meter out probably the discipline and all that. So they're like the Mikel Artetas of our lives. You know what I mean? But Mikel Arteta is trying to be more like the mom. You know what I mean? Be strict and disciplinarian.
There we go.
Anyway, listen, we should get out of here. We'll be back Thursday night and probably Monday following that. So we'll see what we can do. We'll figure out something for the West Ham game. Come on, you Gooners, 3 points.
All right.
Definitely will take it. Steven says, sorry to hear that, Tony. We're out of here. Thanks for that, Stephen. And also good to see you, Stephen, and everyone else in the chats. Brilliant to have people coming back to this little old channel. And we're out of here. Mahir, you made it to the end.
Yeah, you got this. You got to finish the show with us. You didn't like leave.
329, he made it to the end.
There you go.
Season 3, episode 29.
All right,
Love
everyone.
Thanks, everyone. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
Thursday night. Take care,
Yeah.
everyone.